Hey, what's up guys, another video here. So today I want to thank my friend Brian for lending me his camera so now I can shoot more videos. But anyways, let's start with the topic. So I want to bring you guys the stimulus package update and the stimulus check update as well. So today we have the next stimulus bill in play in the Senate. So it's very highly likely that the next stimulus check or the CARES Act 2 will allow for the most Americans to receive the $1,200 check, and it's probably not going to require a certain threshold such as $40,000 of salary or less. It's probably going to be very similar to the CARES Act 1. But basically, Senate Republicans plan to propose a new $1,200 stimulus check for eligible Americans on Monday, which is today, as well as additional incentives and relief to help provide financial support amidst the illness. And intensifying illness has prompted Congress to look at sending a second stimulus check worth up to $1,200 to eligible Americans to help them keep afloat as the recession continues to deepen. So the issue here now is that the country and various states, they are closing back up. So the issue is people, they can't maintain their employment. So what's going to happen is, because the federal unemployment benefit has already expired, the Republicans in the Senate are debating on not if they're going to have the additional federal unemployment benefit, but probably not the full $600 amount. So you have to keep that in mind. So if you are currently unemployed, don't expect the federal unemployment to resume at $600 a week. Instead, it may be in the arena of $200 to $400 per week, in addition to your state unemployment. But state unemployment is also running out, or it only lasts up to a certain period of time depending on your state. So you really don't want to depend on that indefinitely. And having a $1,200 payment, as what was happening back in March and April, it's not going to really help you too much, because it's not a sustained payment if you are currently unemployed. And if you, for example, work in an industry such as hospitality with restaurants, hotels, etc., you're probably not going to be gainfully employed, especially in the hot areas, Florida, Texas, where things are closing back down again. So it's a really, really tough time for everyone, but there's other stipulations in the bill which I'm going to cover. So Larry Kudlow, the White House advisor to the president, he also had a TV show previously, but he definitely says that there is a stimulus check coming in the amount of around $1,200. I don't think the Republicans will support a sustained check of over that amount, but $1,200 is fairly safe, and they are reaching consensus on that amount. So Monday's proposal in the Senate will just be the first step towards solidifying the total economic package. So the issue with the Senate and the House coming together to agree upon a bill is the fact that it has to be agreed upon by August 7th. So the very earliest you'll get your check is probably, assuming you qualify, is probably in late August. And if it doesn't get settled by August 7th, it'll have to be in September. And then the very earliest you'll get the check, if it's decided later upon, is going to be late September. So do not expect your check anytime soon. So at earliest, late August. And that's being very optimistic because August 7th is so close. But if it isn't decided by August 7th, probably by September 7th, around there. And earliest from that point is going to be around late September. So again, don't expect it soon, and do not bank on the money until it actually hits your account. Okay, so the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, I know it doesn't apply to a lot of you guys since you don't own a business, or are self-employed. But it provides forgivable loans to small businesses as an incentive to keep employees on payroll. So the Republicans in the Senate may want to extend this or provide more money, but it's debatable if it actually helped. And as you saw, kind of the corruption that happened, that many large businesses such as Shake Shack or other very large corporations, they were getting the PPP loan, or even professional sports teams such as the Lakers were getting PPP loans. So it's kind of questionable on how that money was distributed fairly. So it really didn't help a lot of the small businesses, because a lot of these large corporations that aren't hurting as much for money, they were getting the PPP loan. So it's very questionable. So that may or may not be on the docket for the next stimulus package. So the next order of business is the Employee Retention Tax Credit to help pay wages. So under the program, an employer can receive refundable tax credits for wages paid to an employee during the illness. The employer can then use the credits to subtract from and even receive a refund over taxes that they owe. So this may or may not be part of the package, but expect it if it does come up. Also, the Republicans, they plan on a return to work bonus up to $450 a week. And this is a temporary weekly bonus for unemployed workers who secure or resecure a job on top of their wages. Again, the Republicans, they want everyone to get back to work amidst whatever is going on. So even with reclosures, they really want Americans to get back to work because the Republicans are more fiscally conservative. So what's going to happen is they're going to want to incentivize all these businesses to rehire and hire back all the workers so they don't have to increase the deficit to fund all these programs. That's why the HEROES Act that was passed in the House will never pass, because it's a $3 trillion bill that gives enormous amounts of money to the people, and Republicans obviously are pro-business, so they want their constituents, a lot of business owners, to get the benefits, and then hopefully it trickles down to the employees. But I get both sides. The Democrats in the House, they want to fund directly the employees that have lost their jobs, but the Republicans are, again, pro-business, and they don't want to have the businesses suffer instead of the employees. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a tug of war between the House Democrats and the Republicans in the Senate as far as how much is going to be distributed or how much is going to be incentivized for the businesses to rehire. So that's why I'm really questioning if this can be done by August 7th, but I think you can really count your money on having the $1,200 stimulus check. So you can count on that, but just don't expect it by early August. Again, at earliest, late August, and probably in the worst case scenario by late September. Okay, so next order of business is rental assistance to help stave off evictions. So about 5% of renters for April, May, and June haven't paid their rent in full. And this plan will help renters pay rent and assist landlords with expenses with less rent money coming in and so forth. So the issue here is if the building owners, the mortgage owners, they don't pay their mortgage, what's going to happen is property tax will be affected, and that in turn will affect public services. So it's really advisable for, obviously, if you can, for renters to pay their landlords, and if the landlords aren't paying for their property tax and their mortgage bills, it's going to affect the public service sector. So that's going to affect infrastructure with roads or any other type of public service that keeps our infrastructure together. So again, the government has done programs with mortgage forbearance, but that is kind of kicking the can down the road. So it's really important that, hopefully we get some kind of widespread vaccine where things can return back to normal. But again, the longer this goes on, you're going to see a crisis with evictions for tenants, and there's going to be a crisis as far as funding for infrastructure projects at the local level. Lastly, what's most likely not going to happen is with the payroll tax cuts. It's kind of agreed on both sides with both the House Democrats and the Senate Republicans that Trump's wish for the payroll tax cut probably won't happen because it's going to be leading to too much lost revenue. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you liked the video. Hopefully it wasn't too choppy. This is my first shot at this. Please like and subscribe. Also check the link on the video description down below. You can look at my book where I describe becoming a multimillionaire by age 35 by only having a salary that ranged from $40,000 to around $81.5K. So it's really important for you guys to be mindful about your expenses, your income, and your investing. So that's it, guys, and stay tuned for the next video.